Welcome to the League of Nerds comic book segment number 110. I'm John Cooney here to talk to you about comics released the 5th of March 2014, beginning as usual with my first 5, meaning these are the first 5 books I intend to read this week, and I'll give you a little more depth on them, starting with at number 1, Detective Comics number 29. The stunning conclusion of Gothtopia, Batman discovers the terrifying secret behind this brave new world. With tie-in issues of Batgirl, Batwing, Birds of Prey, and Catwoman, series writer John Layman explained how the story is expanded into these other titles across the Bat books. Quote, I conceived the story as a 3-parter, my last detective arc before moving on to the upcoming Batman Eternal. I guess the editors saw potential for it to be something bigger because they passed the concept around the Bat office with a call for participants. Other people saw enough potential in the story that they wanted to jump in and make the story bigger and more vast. As I understand it, the Bat editors just opened the door to whoever wanted to be a part of it and let people who had other plans do their own thing. There's a lot of creative freedom in the Bat office. I'm just very flattered at all the people who wanted to be a part of Gothtopia and make it even bigger and cooler. Close quote. At number 2, we've got Forever Evil, number 6 of 7. The final fate of Nightwing. The most unlikely of allies have set the crime syndicate in their sights, and they're playing for keeps while the life of the hero hangs in the balance. Plus, the identity of the mysterious man in the hood is finally revealed. Series artist David Finch gave his thoughts about having Batman as the lone hero in the series. Quote, Batman as a character is a survivor. It just makes sense that if all the heroes are gone, he would survive. There are some that think that Batman kind of straddles the line a little bit, but I don't think so. He has a very strong moral code, stronger than most characters, so I don't think it's true. He's a character that is really hard to keep down. It makes perfect sense that Forever Evil has a million villains and Batman. Close quote. He went on to discuss issue 6 specifically, quote, honestly, there's still a lot more to come and a lot of pieces to put together. The beginning and ending of Forever Evil number 6 is 2 completely different places and covers a lot of ground, and there truly is a lot of irrevocable change. I remember reading that script for the first time and going, wow, close quote. At number 3, we've got Wolverine and the X-Men number 1. Welcome to the Jean Grey School of Higher Learning, the all-new Marvel Now smash hit series schools with Jason Latour and Mohamed Assur leading the charge with drama, action, and homework. World-famous X-Men Wolverine, Storm, and star-studded faculty must educate the next generation of all-powerful but inexperienced mutants. But with their own lives steeped in deadly enemies and personal crises, how can the X-Men guide and educate, let alone defend the school? At the Jean Grey School, you never know who will enroll. Series writer Jason Latour shared his plans for the series. Quote, as we've seen, this first year or so of the Jean Grey School has been a hard road. As a result, we'll begin with a lot of teachers and students sitting on the edge of their seats just waiting for the bell to ring, for a break, for a reprieve. Some of them even want to quit. With summer in session, many of them have. Those that are left are the ones who basically have nowhere to go. So with that in mind, the center of it all are Choir and Evan and Edie, kids who are among the most potentially powerful and dangerous mutants alive. These kids are Logan's legacy, but as we've seen up to this point, he didn't have such a great track record with that stuff even when he was at his best. In them, we could be witnessing the growth of the next great team of X-Men or the creation of the biggest threats to the Marvel U will ever see. Everything we're planning, the adventures, the threats, will reflect that journey. Close quote. At number 4, we've got Moon Knight number 1. Mark Spector is Moon Knight. Or is he? It's hard to tell these days, especially when New York's wildest vigilante protects the streets with two-fisted justice and 3, that's right, count 'em, different personalities. But even with the mystical force of Khonshu fueling his crusade, how does the Knight's greatest detective save a city that is as twisted as he is? The road to victory is going to hurt. A lot. Marvel's most mind-bending adventure begins now as Moon Knight sleuths his way to the rotten core of New York's most bizarre mysteries. Series writer Warren Ellis offered his take on the complex character. Quote, part of what I do for Marvel is that planetary-like process of scraping back the accumulated barnacles on a property in order to show what excited people about it in the first place. With Moon Knight, that was an easy thing. The redemptive arc, the multiple facets of the character, the intervention of ancient gods, and madness. There was one line I came up with that married all that up in a way that made sense to me and provided a sense of forward motion, so I just rolled with it. Close quote. When asked about Moon Knight's interaction with the rest of the Marvel Universe, Ellis responded, quote, Right this second, I'm more concerned with re-establishing Moon Knight as a reason to read Moon Knight. Also, the things he's interested in dealing with are not necessarily the things other New York City characters are interested in dealing with, because he's crazy and they're not. I may eventually go to a more obvious integration if it appeals to me, but at this moment, I'm more interested in Moon Knight himself." Close quote. And at number 5, we've got Magneto number 1. Once the deadliest, most feared mutant mastermind on the planet, Magneto is no longer the man he once was. After falling in with Cyclops and the X-Men, Eric Lehnsherr became just one more pawn in another man's war. But now, determined to fight the war for mutant-kind survival on his own terms, Magneto sets out to regain what he's lost, and show the world exactly why it should tremble at the sound of his name. Magneto will safeguard the future of the mutant race by hunting down each and every threat that would see his kind extinguished, and bloody his hands that they may never be a threat again. Series writer Cullen Bunn described who Magneto is to him. Quote, "Magneto is a tragic figure. He's a man who has stared right into the face of ultimate evil, and he was broken into pieces by what he saw. When he healed stronger, but he also never fully recovered. As he sees it, the only way to combat ultimate evil is with an equal amount of evil, so that's just what he's doing. He's done terrible things for the right reasons, but his own fear and hatred have blinded him to the fact that he's as much a force of terror in the world as the evil he is trying to combat." Close quote. As far as the changes he's undergone, Bunn says, quote, "Because he's operating alone and with greatly diminished powers, Magneto is relying on something that has served him well in the past, ruthlessness. He's seeking out threats to mutants, some from the past, some from the present, and some that are potentially dangerous, and eliminating them as quickly as possible. If anything, he's forced to be more cruel and brutal than before. These tactics will make it easy for others to paint a picture of Magneto returning to his villainous ways." Close quote. Rounding out the top 10 at number 6, we've got Uncanny X-Men number 18. Cyclops finds himself in serious trouble. Who's got Scott Summers at gunpoint? At number 7, we've got Invincible Universe number 11. Every active Guardian has been called into action to stop King Lizard's planetary takeover. Next issue, will we have to retitle this book Lizard League Universe? At number 8, we've got Starlight number 1. 40 years ago, Duke McQueen was a space hero who saved the universe. But then he came back home, got married, had kids, and grew old. Now his children have left and his wife has passed away, leaving him alone with nothing except his memories, until a call comes from a distant world asking him back for his final and greatest adventure. This issue launches the much-anticipated MILLAR World Universe. Get in on the start of something massive. At number 9, we've got Loki, Agent of Asgard number 2, Loki versus Lorelei. It's the battle of the Asgardian younger siblings, from the casinos of Monte Carlo to a speed date in New York. Loki goes speed dating. We should have mentioned that earlier, really. And at number 10, we've got Apocalypse Owl number 2 of 4. You know your day is off to a crummy start when the Ultimate Darkness gives you an up-close and personal tour of the planned apocalypse. Then, when the screaming stops, you still have the techno-wizard who has his eyes on your bra and the keys to the cyber void, not to mention killer viruses, guilt-inducing apparitions from the afterlife, and a dozen 3-inch tall machine-gun-toting imps determined to blow you and your car into the next world. That's just the start of the day for Allison Carter in her desperate attempt to prevent the end of the world. Step up for one of the funniest and most surreal detective stories ever printed about someone named Al. For the best of the rest from DC Comics, we've got Batman Superman Annual number 1. It's the first meeting of Supergirl and Red Hood, Steel and Supergirl, and more as the competing Batman and Superman families must battle for control of the missing Mongols' fortress. And at the heart of it, Batman and Superman deal with their grief over their fallen comrades. Next, we have Forever Evil Arkham War number 6 of 6. The final battle for Gotham City starts now. The Scarecrow has unleashed a mutated army of Arkham's worst killers, and only Bane can stop them. It all leads into Forever Evil number 7. We've also got Trillium number 7 of 8. The penultimate issue of Vertigo's acclaimed sci-fi epic is here, and Nika and William are out of time, literally. The last love story ever told nears its conclusion, but what waits beyond the end of the universe? You'll have to read to find out. And we've got Trinity of Sin, The Phantom Stranger number 17. Forever Evil Blight continues as the Justice League Dark tries to free the captured mystics of Project Thumaton. Continues in this month's Constantine number 12. From Marvel Comics, we've got Avengers A.I. number 10, S.H.I.E.L.D. Priority Alert. Monica Chang and her robot hunting partner Jocasta have been ordered to confiscate and or eliminate unregistered artificial intelligences on site. Unauthorized entry Hank Pym, Vision, and the Uncanny Avengers have been spotted in the Diamond. All citizens are advised to be cautious of this rebel element. Warning, all hail Demetrius, or else. Next, we've got New Warriors number 2. The evolutionaries are on the warpath. If it's not human, it dies. What does the High Evolutionary want with Nova? All across the world, the New Warriors come together. See Sun-Girl and Haichi deal with Morlocks. Witness Justice and Speedball fight to save magic. Cringe as Scarlet Spider refuses to play well with others. We've also got Nova number 14. It's a bad day to be a Nova. David Baldean joins Jerry Dugan for an interstellar adventure with Beta Ray Bill, begins with a bang and a massive robotic battle. It's cleanup time as Sam and Bill ride through the cosmos attempting to right the wrongs that Sam caused. Next we have She-Hulk number 2. Jennifer opens up her own practice, but things aren't going as smoothly as she'd like. A new client rides into town, but is he hero or villain? Guest starring Patsy Walker, Hellcat. And we've got Punisher number 3. Frank discovers the Dos Souls gang's newest weapon. Bad news for Frank. The Punisher dukes it out with one of the Marvel-used big bads. A daring raid on the Dos Souls compound goes absolutely not according to plan. From Dark Horse Comics, we've got Terminator Salvation, the final battle number 4 of 12. The battle for humanity is underway, but a deadly new player has entered the game. A murderous psychopath has joined with Skynet and imbued the Terminator with his own lust for death. How can John Connor hope to survive when the machines are now as ferocious as men? From Dynamite Entertainment, we've got Turok Dinosaur Hunter number 2. The Gold Key universe continues. It's 1210 AD, and destructive invaders, both reptilian and human, have ravaged Turok's land. Will the outcast Turok defend the tribe that shunned him, or side with these freakish new warriors? Prepare for history-twisting carnage from superstar Greg Pak and Mirko Kolak. We've also got Twilight Zone number 3. When Trevor Richmond left behind his old life, the last thing he expected was that someone else might move in to take his place, but that's exactly what's happened. Who is the man everyone now knows as Trevor? Where did he come from? And maybe more to the point, what does he want? The secrets are revealed right here. From IDW Publishing, we've got Wild Blue Yonder number 4 of 5. Time is running out. Desperate to survive, the Dawn is making a run for open sky. However, every path they choose, the Judge and his fleet of warships are constantly a step ahead. With war inevitable, will the Dawn be able to prepare in time for the ultimate aerial showdown? From Image Comics, we've got Jupiter's Legacy number 4. Brandon and his uncle Walter have instigated the superhero revolution, but there are those who would still stand against them. On the other side of the world, Chloe and Hutch are hiding with their enormous secret and hoping to evade the man charged with hunting renegade superhumans. Next, we have Revival number 18. While Dana is obsessed with discovering the identity of the masked reviver who attacked her, her family is falling apart. And just what has escaped reviver Anders Hine been up to? And we've got Velvet number 4. At the masquerade, everyone hides their true face, especially the double agent that Velvet needs to get to if she has any hope of clearing her name. Don't miss this hot new super spy series from best-selling creators of the Captain America Winter Soldier saga. Out in trades, we've got Walking Dead Volume 20 All Out War Part 1 trade paperback. The biggest storyline in the Walking Dead history starts here. It's Rick versus Negan with a little help from everyone else. Collects The Walking Dead number 115 to 120. We've also got Uncanny X-Men Volume 1 Revolution trade paperback. The true flagship X-Men series returns. In the wake of the Phoenix event, exactly what are Cyclops and his team of outlaw X-Men? Visionary revolutionaries or dangerous terrorists? Whatever the truth, Cyclops, Emma Frost, Magneto, and Magic are gathering new mutants and redefining the name Uncanny X-Men. But they face harsh challenges. Once again, robotic sentinels hunt the team and the mutants they protect. But who's doing the hunting? And there's a mole on Cyclops' squad. Who is it? A weakened Magneto must prove he's still the master of magnetism as Magic wonders why she's the only member of the Phoenix Five to emerge unscathed. Plus, learn what it's like to be a student at Cyclops' new school. Blockbuster creators Brian Michael Bendis and Chris Bachalo revamped the entire X-Men concept, collecting Uncanny X-Men number 1 through 5. And we've got X-Men Days of Future Past hardcover. For years, the X-Men have fought to avert a nightmarish future in which robotic sentinels herd mutants into camps or kill them on sight. But no matter what they do, that future seems to loom ever closer. Now the classic tales featuring that dystopian alternative timeline are collected in one oversized volume. Kate Pryde journeys desperately through time to prevent Senator Kelly's assassination. Franklin Richard flees into the present, pursued by the Houndmaster Ahab, and Excalibur ventures into the future in a last-ditch attempt to defeat the Sentinels. Plus prequels starring Wolverine and the Hulk. The future is now. Collecting X-Men number 141, Uncanny X-Men number 142, X-Men Annual number 14, Excalibur 52 and 66 and 67, and Wolverine Days of Future Past 1 through 3, and material from Fantastic Four Annual 23, New Mutants Annual number 6, X-Factor Annual number 5, and Hulk Broken Worlds number 2. Okay, so that's just a few of my favorite books out this week. There's still plenty of others available, and I broke out all the Marvel titles this week in their own video, as well as a separate video for all of DC, and even a video with the top independent publishers, and you can find them all on my YouTube channel at he'sgotissues.com. And we'll also have links up on the leagueofnerds.com, our Facebook page, so be sure to like us there too. And of course, you can follow everything I'm reading on Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, or Twitter. You can find links to everything in the About section at he'sgotissues.com. And a reminder that both He's Got Issues and the League of Nerds are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. So until next week, I'm John Cooney, and I've got issues.